In this series, we introduce the stories of some of the DaDa artists who are with us on a journey to try. DaDa presents Try.
The phone call, ring ring, Grace, I'm going to Egypt.
Oh my days. Hi everyone, my name is Grace Ng and I'm the Joint Artistic Director and CEO of DaDa. I'm a Singaporean woman of Chinese heritage in my 40s. I've got bangs for a fringe and the bottom part of my hair is overly bleached and it's being pushed out by my angry jet black original hair. I've got a lilac cardigan on, jumper on, and I've got dark blue pants on, and I've got a bright yellow lanyard that says DaDa Fest on it. And we're here at the beautiful Blue Coat, and behind me are some lovely trees, shrubbery, and a brick building of the Blue Coat. On my left is...
Hi, so I'm Amina Atiq. I'm a Muslim woman. I'm wearing a hijab, a black hijab. I'm also a woman of colour. I have a black cardigan on with green sleeves.
We're just really curious about you, and that's why we've invited you to just have a chat with us. So if you could describe yourself as a hot beverage, what would Amina be as a hot beverage?
You know what? Because it is Halloween.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I am a gingerbread latte with marshmallows and then cinnamon on top. Because there's a bit of ginger to me. A bit spicy, I like.
Nice. And there's a lot of warmth.
The marshmallows are just floating, and then the cinnamon's like to ground myself.
And you're very sweet.
And there's a bit of sweetness.
2 months and 3 weeks later, in Cairo, spent in Cairo, and then now back in the UK, in Liverpool. You're home.
Yeah.
And you've brought along with you a full heart, a nourished soul, and you've done a lot of work in terms of holding space to facilitate people's voices, stories, and there's a whole collection of drawings and paintings, spoken word, you know, and you're thinking of curating them onto an online space, as you had done remarkably while still communicating with us between Cairo and here, and really testing what technology can do in terms of access, in terms of bridging and connecting people. So that's what you're thinking of doing for Scratch. Put all of this collection online to see if it works, to see what comes out of it. Is there anything else that you were thinking about, just for trying, just for experimenting during DaDa for Scratch?
Yeah, so while being in Cairo, there's a Yemeni centre and a library where we facilitated the Yemeni Artist Exchange Day. But at the top of the library, there is a massive shop floor that has all Yemeni clothing that dates back to 300 years. Obviously not the real, some of them were the real pieces, but some were the kind of like the imitated designs. And when I visited Mohammed Saba, the artist, just to say hello and meet him before we even thought about doing anything together, I remember there was a few customers buying stuff, and I walked in like, it was like a Yemeni wonderland. And I remember trying the clothes on, trying the headbeads. I remember my friend looking at me and he was like, wow, you look so happy. And coming back, I really want to relive that moment again in feeling and emotion and tone. Because my work holds a lot of frustration and anger. And I'm allowed to be angry in my work and have frustration. But I also want to explore that part of dignity and that part of happiness that I still don't find myself doing. Because, you know, identity is complicated. So what I did is I used some of my lovely DaDa Fest budget and I bought some of the clothing. I brought some of the head beads. And what I'm thinking of doing is recreating how we would wear it. And I've developed some photographs of myself. You know, they're not well developed photographs, or it's about the moment of wearing them. And you know what? I wish I'd done this sooner. I think clothing is like food. Food holds a big part of culture and identity, but I think clothing is something that we don't realise the importance of it. And when I spoke to Mohammed Sabah, I said, what led you to have the shop? And he said, because when the war began in Yemen, I realised the biggest threat to the country is art and culture. And for that reason, when war happens, it's art and writers that are attacked first. And also because art becomes less of a priority. Nobody no longer watches comedy shows, as my friend always quotes. So he said, you know, I made sure that I want to revive Yemeni culture, whether war happens or not. Whether we lose the whole country, we still have our traditions, our culture, and our art. And for me, it was just the most sentimental part of my creative career right now. I said, you know what, I'm here to support you too. Wow. What can I do to support you? Firstly, buy his stuff. Secondly, support him from a very different place. So, and that's why I brought some of these clothes back to kind of, obviously from an activism point of view. And second of all, to revive that for my own practice. I am known as the Yemeni writer in the UK, but then I feel like, do I represent the Yemeni voice? When I met the Yemeni writers and the artists of Yemeni people who lived in Yemen all their lives, I missed a big chunk. So I really need to look back at my art form, look back at my writing, and go backwards a little bit.
What did you try? Just one?
What did I try?
I'm sure you have many stories to tell us. The one thing that you tried.
You know, I brought Yemeni artists, writers together in a room on the theme of diaspora.
Right.
So I kind of like unpicked things that I've learned in the past, and I said, well, you know, let me become the creative practitioner here.
Yep, the facilitator.
The facilitator. Yeah. And so when I said to them, you know, we were coming together, and they said to me, and I remember saying to Mohammed Sabah, who's the artist and who runs the Yemeni library, I said to him, you know, tell me what I need to know. Yeah. And he said, look, us Yemeni artists, we practice art, but we work several other jobs. And it's not one or two, it's 4 or 5. So just don't have any expectations of delivery. And that for me was really good practice, because obviously I've learned that from people that I've worked with here and how they ask questions of access. And so I'm really glad that I was able to put my practice into use, but also learn as well where I wasn't great at. Honestly, it was the best experience of my life.
How would you describe yourself as an intersectional? There's so many disabled, global majority, Yemeni, female, you know.
Working class.
So many intersections in 3 words. You already had the first word. Would you tell me a bit more about that first word?
Revive. Revive is in, you know, I've just been asleep for a bit, but I'm awakened.
Okay.
But I mean this from an activism term. I'm going to revive my art form. Yeah. I'm going to become the radical artist that I was when I was 16. I think I missed the old Amina, the one that was quite brave. The second one would be compassionate. And I think compassionate makes you a better listener. That's not what I would describe myself, but that's what I aspire to improve on. Compassion. And the last one, I would say, to do the work that I'm doing sometimes it needs a bit of courage. So I feel courageous where I am right now.